Now the business we're doing to sustain our children. Just about to kill and they can rescue. When I say we should vote for our children future, they don't want our children future. They can damage our children future. If they love the citizen, if they don't want riot, police or soldier, nobody can stop us. Because now where we get our daily bread from? None of the broad men, they're not supporting children with a mother, with a husband, with everything in the home. That some of us will not educated at the business backing or some when they tap around us, they will pull. Some of us will not have our weapon. We're gonna medicine man was when you come into tell our market, we'll plan your eye, we will prepare you, Papa and signal will whistle on you because we fell out with that nonsense in their country. Yeah, you think I can rescue them, one kill or slaughter? I can't do that. So security, they keep me a police, they keep me around with seller police, they keep not get our awareness for now until the 7, they want to see her on the street. That's it, but you don't get nobody job facility. And on the street, the people from the federal office they can come by our son. And what people making in it, yeah, and I blessing them will not belonging in market. Now along the street, and I market or say woman in a general market, say la bravo phone all over the world, the great America, they started on the street. Africa, they started on the street. Now they la bravo. Why can improve that they want to suppress up on the street?
I have been working for the past 6 years with Jowea government, and we are caretaker. We are the one that's doing the cleaning up and things. Since Joseph Boakai for the past 6 years, since Joseph Boakai took over for the past 3 months, they be demanding us to come to work every day. For me, I pay $450 to where I live to come here and $450 to go back. Every day they will take listing for oil and carry. But I was surprised yesterday, the minister called that he want to have a meeting with us. So we got there, Paulina came, and Paulina said there is no budget for us. She's not going to pay us, and she's putting us down. Maybe when she get money the 15th or next month, she will pay us. For everybody that work on a job, we are government, she will put everybody down, and that's what she did. So we got angry, we went to the mansion in group, 730 persons. But then she said, Joe, we have put her father down, but he was working. So anybody that work on a job, we are with him, that job we have put that she will put them down. But then so therefore she came and said, she's not working with us again, and she didn't pay us. So I thought that we work in this government for the past 6 years. And then for the 3 months that Joseph Boakai got there, we've been working early in the morning, we can't early in the morning, can't work. We have been working for the past 6 months. So they should get our pay so that we can go and sit down. That's how she left. So we should go and sit down and wait for the 15th.
Oh, I would not know if it's wrong, but one thing that I was not able to accomplish that I wanted to accomplish was after the war, the Liberian people elected me, and in fact, the Liberian people elected me to unite the country. I was not able to get some of the other factional leaders to return to Liberia. I was not able to get 1 or 2 of the political leaders to return. And I think they helped to provoke the situation. I was able to do a whole lot. Strangely, the LPC, these were all warring factions, and all of the other warring factions, I was able to bring them into government. In fact, most of the combatants that fought for the government during the war were the combatants of the warring factions that fought against me. So I accomplished bringing them together. I accomplished making sure that the issue of tribalism went away in Liberia. But I mean, to a great extent, I think most Liberians now, if you went to Liberia and took a poll, they would say Mr. Taylor did his best. Any other regrets? The second regret is that I was never able to get the United States to understand me. I was never able to get them to work with me, which is so essential for Liberia. No president of Liberia, no president can make it successfully unless he is online with Washington. Now, I'm not the type of guy that you can pick up a telephone and command. I don't take that. I didn't take that from Washington. Then, even if I were elected president, I would not take it. I'm not that kind. I'm not a coward. But I do believe that a good working relationship is essential for any president of Liberia, or that president will fail.
You know, I am for the fact. I know our government did well. We built roads, we did a lot of good things. But I'm saying that we could have done better. We could have done a lot better. With the first female president of Africa, she was the darling of the world. Whatever you do in life, you have good, better, and best. You have to admit, and the president herself will be the first to admit that there were a lot of things we could have accomplished that we didn't accomplish. And there were opportunities. One of those opportunities that I talk about is that we pay tuitions for students, for young people coming out of the war. We have been aggressive enough to put into place good vocational training, good programs. Would have dislodged most of those young people that followed here. Would have made them better youth for today. When Nancy Pelosi came here and said, Ellie, you lit the world with light Liberia, I will make up for the electricity here. There are things that we could have done better. The first 6 years, we did very well. But see, later on, there was a decline. There was a decline in many of the things that we could have done. So I'm just saying that we missed opportunities. And I have said it in cabinet when they used to talk about donor fatigue. Donor fatigue, one should always know that when you are bereaved and people go to sympathize with you, they're not going to be with you forever. Take advantage of the time there, make the maximum use.
I'm filled with a profound sense of gratitude and humility. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your president and commander-in-chief for the past 6 years. Together, in 2018, we embarked on a journey to build a united, peaceful, and prosperous Liberia. And I am deeply thankful for the trust and support you have bestowed upon me and my administration during my tenure. As we navigate the complexity of governance, your partnership was instrumental in the development and implementation of policies and programs that aim to bring progress and development to our great nation. Reflecting on the accomplishment of these 6 years, let me tell you that I am proud of what we have achieved together. We have built roads, supported free wires and free tuition at high schools and public universities, stabilized the macroeconomic challenges we face in 2018, built hundreds of pro-poor housing units, and achieved on so many fronts that we are able to list here today. However, I acknowledge that there is always room for improvement, and perhaps more could have been done under different circumstances. Regrettably, some of the long-term projects we initiated did not reach completion during my tenure. I am hopeful that the incoming administration will carry the torch forward and bring these initiatives to fruition for the benefit of all Liberians. Fellow compatriots, rumors, and misinformation have played a large part in our politics over the last 6 years. It is my hope we as a country will overcome this challenge over the next 6 years. To begin this, we must start with the facts of the transition. I must report to you that we are leaving behind a better economy than we inherited. Today, President-elect Joseph Nima Boakai will inherit a stronger economy than I inherited. There is a bigger net international reserve.
When you elect a clown and you think that he will be a king, what he does is to convert the kingdom into a circus. This is what we must deal with, and this is what we must say. Who do we elect into our public offices. Because, as I've said before, when you allow hyenas to take care of goats, why should you be surprised when the goats are eaten? This is the same. And Africa is only going to realize our potential in all areas when, by dint of choice, we enable and allow our best men and women to serve in different areas. I've heard it being said about Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. I've heard it being suggested about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. I've heard it being said about Japan. I've heard it being said about other countries. But there was a conscious decision on the part of those individuals and the followership. We always talk about leaders, but we never talk about the followers. The followers must also style up. Africans on average are for some reason attracted to thieves. Africans are for some reason attracted to men and women who cannot serve her. And when they are not served, then they complain. When Africans are told, choose you now whom we shall release, Jesus of Nazareth or Barabbas, they say, release Barabbas. And when Barabbas behaves like Barabbas, they say, why are you not behaving like Christ? It cannot be done.
In May of 2001, signed a second of two executive orders, number 13213, Defense Exhibit D310, in which it was stated, and I quote, the government of Liberia's complicity in the RUF's illicit trade in diamonds and its other forms of support for the RUF are direct challenges to the United States foreign policy objectives in the region, as well as the rule-based international order that is critical to the peace and prosperity of the United States. Therefore, I find these actions by the government of Liberia contribute to the unusual and extraordinary threat to the foreign policy of the United States described in Executive Order 13194, with respect to which the President declared a national emergency. This executive order did not say the alleged complicity, it concluded the complicity. The conspiracy was born, all systems put into motion, and here I stand today. I never stood a chance. This is the broader contextual matrix that regrettably did not and still has not seen the light of day in these proceedings, despite the gallant efforts by the defense to unearth and reveal the contextual framework behind the charges against me. Now, with the two executive orders, the dogs were let out, so to speak. What followed was a dispatch of the attack pack led by Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, Defense Intelligence 30 years prosecutor. He, Crane, unlawfully unsealed the court's sealed indictment to his handlers, senior U.S. government officials at the U.S. Embassy in Freetown, was never held to account. The rest of the operational team are Colonel Brenda Hollis, Defense Intelligence, CIA, U.S. Air Force, Senior Trial Counsel, and Armed Prosecutor. James C. Johnson, U.S. Army expert, 20 years on conventional and special operations, Chief of Prosecutions for the SCSL. Alan White, 30 years, Defense Intelligence, recalled from retirement to head up investigations at the Special Court of Sierra Leone. Stephen J. Rapp came on board as chief prosecutor for a short time of experience from Capitol Hill, where he served with the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee sometime before. It came as no surprise to me that as a reward of sorts for Stephen Rapp's diligence in the execution of U.S. foreign policy objectives through these ad hoc tribunals, he was appointed U.S. Ambassador at Large for War Crimes issues. In support of the contextual framework of politics, on February 8, 2006, Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, prosecutor, appeared before a U.S. Congress Subcommittee on Africa, Defense Exhibit D404, and spelled out in clear terms the decision taken in support of regime change in Liberia and what needed to happen to solidify that process. There was little mention, if any, in his testimony about Sierra Leone. And here is what he said. I posit that 5 years from now, when the international community is challenged by other crises, Taylor in Calabar, under the protection of Nigeria, will make his move. We will wake up one morning and watch on CNN as Taylor rides triumphantly down the main street in Monrovia to the executive mansion, daring all of us to come and get him. Unless he is handed over to the special court for Sierra Leone, this scenario is not out of the realm of possibilities. He then asked, how do we assure Liberia's future? And he answers that. Ultimately, he says, what we do about Taylor in the next several weeks will determine the fate of Liberia and the new administration of its president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Crane then sets out several plans, two of which I'll state here. He said, first, hand Charles Taylor over to the special court for Sierra Leone for a fair trial, his kind of trial. This takes him out of the local and regional dynamics that is West Africa. Second, tie any financial and political support to good governance in Liberia. Time does not permit, but the exhibits are present. Not even the Nigerian nation was spared from threats and intimidation, as explained by Femi Kayode, press secretary to President Obasanjo, the Nigerian head of state, who was with him in Washington when President George W. Bush promised, and I quote, to bring Nigeria to its knees if Taylor was not turned over to the special court. And what happened? Obasanjo buckled and capitulated. Now, this demonstrates the significant pressure that was brought to bear on President Obasanjo, irrespective of his personal and leadership obligations to the West African sub-region. And therein lies the dilemma for current African heads of state and government, but how to enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African pairs and remain steadfast, resolute, and unyielding in their fidelity to those agreements in the face of such unrelenting and punishing pressure from powerful Western leaders.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Working for your stomach. Stop slipping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know y'all sleeping now. Y'all gotta whip us small, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people who are, the people the government betray us. So much. The people who are so, the people not to us, the government betray us. We tire with their lies, we tire with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tire with that speech they preach indeed, and now you need the teeth. Where you at? Working for your stomach, stop slipping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on.
Oh yes, and I always love to start
Okay, let's go.
with the portion of the song that is asking you to raise your hand. This sets the pace for our discussions here on a daily basis as we engage on the different issues confronting our people, regardless of where they find themselves, regardless of what they do for living, regardless of who they know to survive, regardless of what they know to survive. Let me say a very, very pleasant good evening to all of you across the country. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to those of you in the diaspora. Our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics, and even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them. It's good to have all of you joining us tonight on the Monday's edition of the show. This is Freedom Hard Talk. Yeah, we talk of the hard issues the hard way. At times, we even talk the soft issues the hard ways. Because the broadcast government seems to be stubborn, but it listens though. But it listens to the hard talks, the hard facts, the stubborn realities. Even though they don't take actions to solve them, but they listen to the hard issues. And so we talk hard here. Just too many things to talk about. Obviously, the weekend is over. A new week is continuing. And today is the first working day. It's the 24th day of February. Just too many dramas all across the country. As a radio personality, you're sitting and doing a list of issues you want to talk about. At times, it gets confusing, and the list becomes so long that you are unable to use 2 hours to exhaust all of the issues. The religious people have their own issues they want you to talk about. Those in the agro sector have their own issues they want you to talk about. The youth and students community have their own issues they want you to talk about. Oh, what's about the politicians who also have their own issues they want you to talk about? Those in the opposition bloc also have the issues they want you to talk about. The security people have their issues they want you to talk about. The motorcyclists have their issues. The civil society people. Just the different sectors. All of the sectors are confronted with compounded problems. Looking for a masterpiece leader that will set a realistic agenda to solve those problems. Do we have in the leaders that we have as our country the quality of a masterpiece in leader that we want to see? That's not a question for me to answer. That's a question for me to ask you, the ordinary people, who are the direct victims of the quality of leadership that we have as a country. And so you have to join me to answer these questions as we ask them. Today we have too many things to talk about, man. You know, on Saturday I was sitting home and just pondering over a lot of issues, a lot of actions that have been taken by the president. Some were reversed, some are being ignored, some are being corrected. And then I asked myself, why is the president reinstating Director Brown Lansana? And he's not thinking about reinstating or even investigating Nesco Waldo from the National Security Agency. Why is the president negotiating with the central bank governor, outgoing central bank, or former central bank governor, Elisha Stalu, to leave the job and appointing Henry Samoa, to occupy the post and leaving the LTA just like that, untouched? As Edwino Zagba remains suspended along with other commissioners, and you have all commissioners there, including the head acting. So nothing. Aren't these situations the same, or don't they have similarities that are supposed to carry corresponding action or approach from the office of the president? What is happening to Joe Boakai? What is happening to the UP government? I say on Monday I'm going to have a conversation about this. Yes, all of the conversation about the Fadika brothers. For me, I do not have too much interest in that, but yes, again, because of the size of the platform is wide, the audience is huge, and so people, our followers, our fans, our audience will expect that. Let's wait to hear what Austin has to say about the situation involving the Fadika brothers and the armed forces of Liberia. So we will say something about that because of the sake of our audience. Did I hear that EPA has found Seti brother $5,000 and that's it? That's all. And everything finished. The dust is settled. What type of country do we have, my people? What is going on? I think I want to weigh in on that as well. And then we will do a reflection analysis. We want to play you again. We told you interchangeably. We will play you the audio of your justice minister until this government tenure expires, where he's admitting to more and more Liberians do not have trust and confidence in the justice system, and that's why they continue to take the laws in their own hands, weigh in on the situation that is transpiring between the government of Liberia, the Liberia National Police, and the motorcyclists. A former CDC chairman, Moba Molu, has written again an interesting piece. We thought to highlight that on the platform as well tonight. The Liberia National Fire Service. Oh yes, a litany of issues to talk about. The Liberia National Fire Service is roaming the streets of Monrovia and its surrounding, randomly arresting, sieging, or impounding gasoline and other explosive materials that are being sold in the main streets of Monrovia and its surrounding communities. They said, no, it is wrong. You can be selling explosive in this manner. It is dangerous. It poses threat to our security. It poses stress to lives and properties. And so we will not allow that. I have an interesting video. I hope our producer can come in here to help me and cue this video. For those of you watching, it's very interesting. If I can cue the video, I'll post the video on my page just after the show. A video displaying a situation where a group of fire service officers are going to enforce an arrest. They're on their random tour, and they are apparently arrested a gasoline belonging to somebody running a not goldsmith, a blacksmith shop. A wedding, he's a wedding man, you know, he does wedding, all of that. But the way he responded to the agents is interesting, and I wanted to have a detailed conversation about that. But I reached out to the Liberia National Fire Service, and they have asked me to kind of sit and have a conversation with them so they can brief me, update me, detail me on their operations. And that will probably follow a latent analysis and commentary on the issues. And so I'm going to hold my peace on this fire issue, and then tomorrow we will have a conversation about that. Those are the issues we are talking about tonight. Too many issues. There's just a long list. My name is Austin Kawa. I am your usual host. I am your usual presenter. We will sit here tonight to talk the issues. Tonight we are not firing like we would do. We are not using the tone that you expect us to use. Tonight we will sound like a preacher man. We want to preach because we have been told reliably that Joe Braga has decided to start listening to radio, and that he has set up an infrastructure that will have him listen from his home and from the executive mansion and all of that, and we have his e-mansion people as well listen. So we are aware that e-mansion folks now have started listening, even though they were listening, but the president is listening now. If they align, they align to themselves. But the fact that the information came directly, officially from the e-mansion, it says, yeah, let's see, we'll give them 1 month and try to engage them and see the impact our engagement is going to have, since they have told us that the president has started to listen. We told you the moment yesterday, from the day you started, you took a decision to prevent the old men from listening to radio, especially us. That was the beginning of the mess that we have as a country. Yes, I know. We a lot of things to talk about. There's a reason why we're not going to talk about this whole Augustine Kafan and UC thing. But don't worry, it's going to form part of our discussion tomorrow. So yes, we can exhaust everything. We'll talk our UC thing, Kafan statement. Somebody is sending me text. Austin, I thought you were really going to talk about it. Yes, we'll talk about it tomorrow. It's already on our plate for tomorrow. In fact, that's why we wanted to exhaust everything that transpired over the weekend. And then Tuesday, as usual, and that's how we do. And then we continue on to Tuesday with the fresh issues. Oh, the cash giveaway is also active on the show tonight. And tonight our payout is 4,000 Liberian dollars as usual. All you have to do, make sure you have 100 Liberian dollars on your mobile money account. You dial *799# and send. You select option number 11 for Freedom FM and send. The two options will appear before you. Option number 1 will be asking you, do you want to play in US dollars? And option number 2 will be asking you to play in Liberian dollars. Whichever option you select, you send and you enter your mobile money password. That's the size and shape of the show tonight. Don't forget, this show is proudly sponsored by Crime Stopper Liberia of Old Man Sam Sire. We take a break very shortly from our sponsor, Crime Stopper Liberia. When we come back, we move into our conversations here tonight on the different issues. Again, the cash giveaway is active and we are paying you $4,000 tonight if you play and win. All you have to do to play is make sure you have 100 Liberian dollars on your mobile money account or its equivalent in US dollars. When you have that, you dial *799#, you send. All the options will appear before you, but just select option number 11. Just enter 11 and send. When you do that, two options will appear before you again. If you select option number 1, it means you're playing in US dollars. And if you select option number 2, it says to you that you are playing in Liberian dollars. Whichever option you select, you send. And you enter your mobile money password. Let me say happy birthday to all of you celebrating your birthdays today, respectively. All of you who are celebrating birthday today, we say happy birthday to all of you, including our man Alfonso Kra, Martin Blind. All of you born in February, we say happy birthday to you. Happy belated birthday to all of us. Happy birthday to all of you. And happy pre-birthdays to all of you. This break from Crime Stopper Liberia.
It's about musical. There are crimes in many places. In every community, you know, you can see. So if you see crime and report it, don't take law in your hands for the right authority. Tell it can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a you must talk it, I mean you check. You work for your safety. If you see a don't keep it, you must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make a peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, on the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make a peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, on the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Sire.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make a peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, on the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, let's stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make a peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, on the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, let's stopping crime for all of us.
Okay, thank you so much, Omen Samsaya, for the sponsorship. Let's welcome all of you who've joined us tonight to the show, beginning with our man Alaska Pay from India. But Alaska, you have to chat in detail about that link you sent me, please. So after the show, let's chat in detail about the link, please. Prosperity, Derek Yoki from the UAE, there he's in Abu Dhabi. Phoenicius Junior Bar from District 16, CDC Success, Pape Keita, Victoria Badio, they're all following tonight. Asata Miller is following tonight. From Soul Clinic, Abu Bakr Sharif from Vitan, Arnold Taylor from Michigan. Let me say welcome to all of you who've joined us tonight. Dubon Hill from Charlotte, there in the US. Matthew Nude is following from Babolu County. Hamzat Sharif is joining us from the US. Fazari Shelton is joining us tonight from Barnesville. Keba Jusu Kalima is following from Lofa. Moses Royal is joining us tonight from Timberland Home Furniture Trading. Blah blah blah. Moses, the next time we call your business name here, you pay some mile. We'll find you. You got a free advertisement doing for a bit. Remember, you won't advertise, you come here, advertise with us. So we are open to doing business with you. The show is looking for partnership and all of that. So come on, that partner, let's start business, Moses. Yasa Sharif is joining us tonight as well. Testimony, Janjik Bisi is following from Fender. Daniel Kolba is also following tonight. Agatha Glasgow from Tinkers Village. I wrote Mary Tully from New Georgia Estate. Abdullah Dule is joining tonight from Zozo. Juji Wonwe is following from Johnsonville. Charles Gray is joining us tonight from Coffee Farm. Cardwell, Mohammed Sharif, Shoem Papi are all joining us tonight. Let's say welcome to all of you who've joined us tonight. A lot of things we have to talk about, and so we shall move straight into our discussion tonight. But let me play you this. Who is this person? Yeah, okay. So I'd like to begin with this whole National Elections Commission thing, and all of these, all of the issues are raised. So here's what happened over the period of time. So on the 14th of January, okay, I don't know where this feedback is coming from. Okay, so on the 14th of January, we woke up to the news that the president has suspended the head of the National Elections Commission, and the executive marshal said that Director Brian Lansana was suspended for term indefinite. They describe her action, according to them, as disruptive of public order and stability. Disruptive of public order or public order and stability. According to the executive marshal, they said that her suspension follows an investigation into her action or her decision and all of that led to the protest by aggrieved workers of the National Elections Commission. That's what they said. The workers have protested some administrative decisions that were taken by the head of NEC, allegedly or reportedly taken by the head of NEC, and other commissioners claimed that they were not in the know. Other members of the board of commissioners claimed that they were not in the know of Madame Director Brown Lansana's decision to suspend those NEC employees. Because they were suspended and they decided to protest and their protest action was deemed by the executive mansion as disruptive and undermining disruptive of public order and stability. So they suspended her. According to them, they know that they made reference to the code of conduct, the elections law. Sorry, they made reference to the election law 2.1 and 2.10, 2.1 and 2.10 of the 1986 the new election law of 1986. And according to them, they quoted all the thing. Yeah, the board of authority as the board of commission. Sorry, as it should be a collective body, and no one person can or should take decision without the other person or not, or the majority granting it acquiescence and all of that. So they did an investigation according to E-Marshal, and the investigation found that Madame Lassana may not have or did not do proper consultation, or she may not have consulted, or she may not have sought the acquiescence of the majority members or the other members of the Board of Commissioners. So they deemed the action unilateral. They suspended her. That was on the 14th of January. Today is the 24th of February, so it's been 1 month over. But on the weekend, the president announced that Madame Brown Lassana's suspension was being lifted. Shocking it to many persons. And so, on the 19th, the E-Marshal also issued this. And the E-Marshal said they lifted Madame Brown Lassana's suspension and all of that. And that the decision may have followed a high-level meeting that they held on the 18th of February, and on the 19th, they lifted her suspension. And so they urged her to go back to work. But let's see what happens, or what happened as well. So let's go to our reflection. The E-Marshal issued a statement on the 22nd of January, 2025. January 14th, Lassana suspended. February 18th, they held a meeting on the 19th. She's reinstated. In the same January, after the 14th, the 22nd, Executive Marshal Liberia President Bouaka Senior has relieved Mr. Nesco Alio Wallo of his duties as Assistant Director for Operations at the National Security Agency with immediate effect. They said the decision taken for administrative reasons. They say he not steal nobody money, he not spoil anybody car, he not cost anybody, he not cost anybody man. He was not ineffective on his job. He didn't disrespect his bosses. He didn't go to work. He didn't breach any rule, any code of conduct, anything, nothing. They didn't say it. They say administrative reasons. They say decision taking for administrative reasons is part of ongoing efforts to ensure that the effectiveness and efficient functioning of Liberia's national security apparatus, including the DEA. Let me add this there because we're coming to the DEA, including the DEA. The president assures the public of his unwavering commitment to maintaining the highest standards of professionalism. The DEA, the police, they highest standard of professionalism and accountability across all sectors of government, particularly within the nation's security institutions, which includes the police, the military, the DEA, the fire service, the immigration, and the list goes on. Now, Wallow remains suspended, not suspended, but relieved of his post. And I want to say this tonight to the president. Same thing happened with the Fadiga brothers and A.B. Kuma, and not the Fadiga brother, but Fadiga, one of the Fadiga brothers, A.B. Kuma and Baoko. But I want to say this tonight to the president. A lot of those from his office who were listening. Law and order is essentially important for any decent society. Nobody, regardless of his or her political opinion, whether it favors you or not, but nobody is supposed to kick against or go against an action that seeks to instill law and order. Because when the society is disordered as a result of its leaders, that society is doomed for failures on all fronts and at all or every level. Now, but when the president or the head of the country, when the president's actions seem to, when the president's action seems selective, or when the president's action appears to be targeting a particular group of individuals who are not in his circles, then it becomes an issue. Then people, or including your critics, will say, but Mr. President, you're not ready to fight corruption, for example. Mr. President, you're not ready to instill law and order in the country because you can't be suspending Wallow for doing nothing. Only because somebody felt he was not supposed to go to a funeral where emotions are expressed without prejudice. Let's place that in context. At funeral ceremonies, not just funeral ceremonies, but when the portion that has to do with paying tributes, that portion has always been associated with emotional expressions. And most people who go to pay tributes at funeral services are people who have close relationship or strong ties, either institutionally or personally, with the individual, with the deceased. That's why in a civilized society, expressions that are made at funeral services, especially during the tribute ceremony, they're not normally held against people. Decent people, civilized societies don't hold funeral talks, funeral expressions as law and gospel and use it to go after people personally. Unlike in a society that wants to deviate from civilization to uncivilization, we try, or who want to politicize funeral ceremonies, we use tributes, expressions made during tributes, emotions that are expressed during tributes. People try to politicize that. They use that against people or against somebody because this person does not work in the president's office, or he may not be seen as a close person to Joe Baka or the Unity Party. So you say, let's go after him. Everything that happened with the central bank case, we are aware. We know that you reach out to the central bank on the record and you reconcile. He was falsely accused. You reconcile, you begging, you investigate, you saw the facts, you know exactly what happened, and you begging to pay him off after accusing people of illegal transactions. So you can still reach out to people who you wrongly dismissed or suspended. It's not late. Because when people are suspended, I remember the case with what's this guy? I'm not seeing this my good friend for a while. Oh God. Terry Swate Johnson. He said, hey, the thing between me and Jeremiah Slonte, Madam President, you dismiss me as a system minister post because you heard only the side of the minister, which I don't blame you for. That is sad. I don't have access to you. The minister has unhindered access to you. But just give me a chance to be heard. Even if I can sit with you, let me sit with a designated person and explain my side. And you investigate based on what the minister told you and what I have said. You see, in decent governance system, these things are necessary. Hasty dismissal. The only thing that people can easily accept, you don't hear hasty dismissals in civilized countries or societies. You hear people resigning. You will regularly hear people resigning from their jobs under allegation and different things. But in the case where you heard something about somebody and you want to take an action against the person, either you suspend the person on the job for time indefinite, like you did with the neck case and all of that, and subject the person to an administrative or criminal investigation to establish firstly what may have gone wrong. It's always good as a responsible leader to hear two sides before acting, because somebody may just mislead you, and your action or your decision may just be regrettable, or you may start regretting your decision after the decision has been taken. But in this case, our laws gave you the power, the authority to appoint. And I remember that Swate Genesis for the case, he was investigated, he went through all of the processes and everything, and he returned the government. President Sirleaf reappointed him because he was reappointed at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Yes, he was reappointed. President Sirleaf investigated and said, let me hear this young man. And when she realized that this thing was just personal between Minister Slonte, then at the Ministry of Post, versus Swate Genesis, who was then assistant minister to him, she said, okay, the young man has a point. I will send him back. I will give him a second chance. And President Sirleaf reappointed Swate Genesis at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And he went there, he served. No minister there ever complained about him being rude or being indecent. They wouldn't will tell you they remember in there arguing. They remember he won't be talking all day. Get beat that kind of that. Oh, nobody will tell you rude and everything indiscipline. She didn't receive complaint from any minister of foreign affairs till her tenure expired. Okay, so Joe Barker, you can do the same thing. Young people's reputations, their integrities are tied to public service when they come to public service. To just dismiss somebody just like that. Young people, where do they go to get a job from? You go to one corporate entity to go and work. If nobody knows you there and you just want to go and apply as a professional person to provide security consultancy to that place, nobody wants to trust you because the president has dismissed you. So you can work anywhere. But if you just hear him, but we're really happy with the Borkis. I wonder what happened. So the only thing he did, because he went, because the tribute, is there nothing else besides the tribute? Yeah, but no, man. These are young people, their experience will be high. Let's give me a chance again. That feeling, the man spent more than 14 years. All of Prince Johnson, 19 years in public service. This young man spent up to 14, 15 years with him. What do you expect? Let the man go and do his job. Let the man go and do his job. That's how at times mature or experienced leaders who make decisions. That's how mature or experienced leaders who think. That's how they will rationalize before making decisions. Again, when people start to question the 40, the 42, or 45 years experience of the president, some of them may be having reason, justifiable reason, because their questioning of your decision is based on their questioning of your experience or capacity is largely based on the decisions that you are making as the president. So it says two things. Either you are not in charge and you do not know that you are not in charge, or you are in charge and you are listening to gossip and not premising your decision on facts or first-hand information, which is wrong. That should not be in an e-marshal. So I think Wallo deserves a second chance. Now, this thing with these Fadika brothers and the AFL, all of them are hard, not harsh, because we still have. All of them have a huge link with the Mediterranean. And I will not say how. What transpired that night with the AFL officer and those two Fadika brothers? For me, Mr. President, and the government, let me see the time, it's 4 minutes to 9 o'clock. Have you heard anything about, if any of you received or heard or see, if any of you have seen any statement from the DA, please share with me. But up to the time I came on the radio, I had not seen any statement from the DA. The military is directly accusing DEA officers wearing arms and taking instruction from a former or from two civilians. Let me repeat. The military wrote the longest press statement ever in the history of the military. I've spoken with two former press and public affairs people in the military who are still alive. They said all their experience, they have never seen such a long release to come from the military, detailing an incident that transpired involving one of their men. So I can safely see. That all of us want to say this. People who are 60, 70 years old, they say this is the longest press statement that the military, as far as their knowledge can serve them, has ever written, detailing an incident involving two civilians and their officer with no casualty. With no casualty. Now, I don't want the Fadika brothers to think that there was no casualty because the AFL officers who came from the military police who went there to observe the situation and help to neutralize some of the threats against one of their men. No, they did not react, not because they recognized that you guys were Fadika brothers. If any man or woman within your circle is telling you that those guys did not react because they recognize or identify you to be Fadika brothers, they erase that from your mind. Erase that. Erase that. Those DEA officers who you send down there would have been disarmed within a few seconds by those guys who are extremely trained, subjected to their authority in their treatment. If they are wanted to take the laws in their hands, they have all of the capacity. And I know that. I can say that any day, any minute, any moment, I can say that. So probably also maybe 8 or 7 men around. Maybe you identify them wearing that military t-shirt. So you say, yeah, 7 men here, man. Because according to the military statement, it said at least between 15 to 25 men, some DEA officers, some were in armed. and they are gone to respond to a call from two civilians. Two civilians forces, two civilians against a military man. And the two civilians take a phone and call DEA officers, and they went there in pickup in the uniforms. Some of them were armed to respond to two civilian brothers. To date, you see the picture of some of the DEA folks. Let me play you some. This country, at times we have to manage our anger because we might just say some things that we just, but we have to manage our anger and exercise some tolerance at times, and just focus on the real issues. But I'm so sorry for all of you. We depriving you, but I'm sure some of you have watched the video. If some of you have not watched the video, then maybe I'll just have tried to repost on my page so you can see it. There's no audio in the video, so no need of me playing it anyway. No need of me playing. I'll just post it on my page. But you will see a fellow there with helmet, like a motorcyclist, extremely angry, and very close to the Fadiga brothers. I think the audio came out. Let me play this so you hear him. The person recorded, hey, so the men are who here to get your order? So they're asking the DE of, imagine surveillance are asking the DE officers, say, hey, so the men are who here to give your order now? What is it? Yeah, they're rare because on the area minute bands there, they will be bloody. Now the people talking you. They mean every minute, the whole barrier. That civilians talking, they think the guys were taking for a joke, and they think area people are stupid because they are the most tolerant group of people in the security people in this country. I can say that any day. I've said that before. I will continue to say this. The AFL men, I can say all of them, but all of the ones that I have interacted with, the scenes that I have witnessed, most of them, the violent scenes and the aggressive scenes I've witnessed involving police officers versus military people, maybe civilian versus military people, all of that, I think they are extremely tolerant. They are trained to be tolerant. The police is the opposite. The police is the opposite. The military people are extremely tolerant. They are the most tolerant security people in the country. But the police, they're worst. They are highly intolerant. Military extremely tolerant, police extremely intolerant. The police is the direct opposite to the military. But listen. Yeah, when the manager came come down in the player, these two men they were hard at set. And the man, this guy is saying this thing right in the face of Fadiga, one of the Fadiga brothers. He's not hiding it from him. He's not hiding his thoughts. He's not hiding his opinion or his views. He's saying if they manager decide to come outside, all the men they were hard at set, two of them were hard at set, Jenna. That arrogance they're wearing. And somebody saying, why the military men he beat the men and burn the kid so they can know that this country here is a country of law. Because in Liberia now, the rule of law is violation. When you violate, you're respecting the rule of law in this country. That's how the country is. When you take the law in your hand, you are respecting the rule of law. Rule of law in Liberia now means taking the laws into your own hands. Going and mob. Because even the police doing the same thing. Even the police doing the same thing. So let me end this video because I want to talk a lot of things tonight and not enough time, so I have less than 1 hour. But I'm just playing. I'm just playing portion of this video to tell you the danger that those two guys were in, those two brothers were in, and they did not know that they call that one ignorance. They were in a dangerous zone and out of ignorance. I always say to you, arrogance has a way of growing your ignorance. It can increase your ignorance. So you can know. Arrogance can make you not to know. Even if you're supposed to know, you can know, you can realize, you can rationalize, you can see, you can hear danger. That's what arrogance does. Though military men are taking the laws in their hand like Richard Kuhn did, then they all on now batching on the military people. Oh, but they're the force for good. They're supposed to know better. They're not supposed to do it. They're not supposed to do that. So they didn't allow themselves to be pushed into the Richard Kuhn scenario. They held their peace. They held their tolerance. They held their patience. And they issued a release, took their men to the 14 military hospital, taken to the emergency store. He underwent emergency treatment. I'm told he's recovering now. And they said in their statement that they are willing to subject themselves to the police civilian investigation. They're willing. And I will implore tonight the majority of the military and ask them to pursue this thing to a logical end. They did. Look, let me say this. I don't know who's advancing Joe Baka. I don't even know whether the minister, I'm told today, the Minister of Justice and the Minister of Information normally per protocol. I know that one from Eddie and I know that from President Weah. The Minister of Justice and the Minister of Information have unhindered access to the president, and they meet the president every Monday to brief the president and also hear from the president every Monday. So let's wait tomorrow and see what will be the action of the government, because it happened on the weekend. And assume me, because our intel have not told us whether the Minister of Justice and the Minister of Information have met the president or met the president today. Once we get confirmation that the Minister of Information and the Minister of Justice briefed the president today and met him and briefed him, then we will say that to you. But we've not been informed yet that those two officials have met the president. But assuming that they met the president today, then we expect an update from the government. This is the military. There's not one group of police, community police team we're talking about here. Maybe some of you have not read the statement issued by the military. Maybe. I'm assuming that some of you officials of the government have not read the statement and subjected that statement to national security interpretation. Some of you, including the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Justice needs to take that statement. If you are not ready, or you just read it, they call skimming. SKIMMING. That's a word. Maybe you give people, you just say, what is it? Okay, they call it skimming, right? So probably the Minister of Justice just grabbed that release because it's long. He didn't take his time, so like some of us, to read over it. If he did not do so, I am encouraging the Minister of Information and the Minister of Justice, along with Councillor, is it Councillor now, or Anthony Samuel Kofi, who is the National Security Advisor to the President. I'm encouraging them to take that release, read that statement, Sunday, sit down in a strategic meeting and analyze that statement. Call your national security meeting to read that statement, ask for interpretation. That's why all people will do. Ask them. That statement is not ordinary. If some of you thinking that the statement is just a press release or the regular press release any matter will issue, no, it is not an ordinary statement. That statement is telling you what the military will do or what they're thinking about doing. They also tell you, say, you know what, we are holding our peace and waiting for the investigation. That's why we are subjecting ourselves to the investigation. They told you in a release that in the presence of the military, the armed forces, in the presence of the armed forces, the members of the a representation from the military, headed by the military police, went there to comply with the state investigation under the authority of the Liberia National Police. The military said to you in that statement that the two brothers refused to comply with the investigation. They said they will not write a single statement, a single word. The flag of Liberia is here, the military. Under the police authority, two civilians say, we will not subject ourselves to you. Gregor Cuomo and other people, they are passing around running beyond Frank Safogo, a lawmaker, a certain lawmaker. Intimidating people and targeting fanatic around here, arresting people, intimidating them, torturing them. I mean, just threatening them to enlist statements from them that will incriminate certain lawmakers. And they said they are investigating lawmakers, investigating arson. You have two civilians telling you, I will not comply with police investigation in the presence of the military that is the complainant. Hey, are you kidding me? Do you know what it is for the military to be a complainant in a case involving two civilians? Folks, the government has a chance to score high grade, to project the professionalism or the professional nature of the military, and you're sitting and joking with this thing. Do you know what it is for the military to go and complain a civilian to the police? For the military to go and complain a civilian or two civilian brothers to the police and say we will subject ourselves to investigation, we will reformulate our complaint. The victims wrote. They said, you, the two civilians, you can't write. They said, we're not writing. The government still sitting down. They not say nothing yet. And you want investors to come here? You want to stay down and investors listening to a country, listening to news or reading the newspaper, where the military is complaining to civilians and the two civilians are saying we will not subject ourselves to this police investigation in a case where the military is the complainant. Then you say, hey, investors just come here. Donald Trump, you take all to be serious. You don't cancel no 60 billion US dollars to our country. You keep sending money here for voter registration awareness. You keep sending money here for to improve our education. You keep sending money here for tax awareness. What is tax awareness? That Americans should send their money there to a country where the civilians have authority over the police and the military. That they say we will not subject ourselves to this investigation, even though the military is the complainant that has even a bigger and wider and stronger capacity to say we will not subject ourselves to the police with 32 minutes. Carry them in the barrel and go train them civil discipline. And go teach them civil discipline. They go train them about civil discipline. They go out on it. Nothing will going to come from all of it. They say, no. This is a country of law. This place should be a country of law. For once, we, the military, should not be seen violating the laws, or we should not be violating because other people violated too. So let's exercise the highest degree of tolerance and patience that we're taught all these years, over decades, that with the US government spend money on us to train us to be professional people, to exhibit at all times professional conduct. We should not be indisciplined, illiterate, and uncivilized than the Fadiga brothers. We should not mind them. And for God in heaven's sake, the imagine military people say we can't complain to civilians. These stuff they when they issue long statement, you can sense the anger in the statement that the military issue. And two civilians say we are not subjecting ourselves to this investigation. We will not write rack. You are not taking our statement and we're going home. And guess what? They could not even detain those guys until tomorrow, for being rude. Because what they did, they were obstructing police investigation, police work. That's what they did. That tension could have escalated that day. If those guys are getting angry or the community people are getting angry, that police station could have gotten burnt on that same day. That's what. No, I don't know how come people say this. They train, they in power, they're in charge of country, and they don't understand things that have, that implication of security threats, national security threats. That was an insult to the military. That was intimidating. Their actions were humiliating to the gallant men and women of the military. You intimidated them. You humiliated them. You insulted them. Imagine taking a canister, pepper spray. I listened to Kanto Nam this evening. It can't say something. Can't say, at times, can't say, we just move on the radio, go sit down. Or on radio, we just can't be talking about normal thing. We forget about your politics. I think one or two persons score on the show and say no, Oliver. But Oliver was not saying this as a decision or as something that or a thought that was under consideration to resign or leave the radio. He was saying to you, hey, it gets disappointing that you even the kind of energy you have, the kind of zest you have, the exuberance, the sincerity from the man they had to their audience. Beating Baka, taking risks. That risk we're taking here, my people. Complete risks we're taking. You can't sit down here in the night and chastising Baka and his government when the people who are perpetrating the mayhem, the wrong things, the wrongdoings, they are the ones in power. They can give instructions to anybody to tell you, kill you, and do anything to you. Nothing will come from all of it. And we are making these kinds of sacrifices just to ensure that our society gets better. And when you sit down and see that the military is being humiliated in this form and manner by two civilians, and the police cannot do anything, nobody is able to contain them or confine them to their authority, it gets disappointing. But on the other side, you see the same police people who are unable to confine two civilians, the Fadiga brothers. You see them using arms to chase protesters, people protesting for their livelihoods, university students protesting for good learning environment. The teachers are not going to classrooms. They say we're coming to protest for teachers to come and teach us. And you see police using excessive force against young, exuberant protesting students, university students, but they cannot exercise or divert that energy to two civilians against the military. And they all sat there, two civilians, disrespected the military, humiliated them, insulted them. Look, you take pepper spray a military. Let's forget about the men being a military, man. What was the situation that may have provoked the Fadiga brothers to pepper spray a civilian, assuming that the driver in the vehicle was just an ordinary taxi driver? The man is sitting in his car. He did not even get down to talk to them. He's sitting in the car. They walk to the car because they are demanding him to yield the right of way. So they say they got him in the car to push the vehicle to demand him, suppress him, and compel him to yield the right of way to them for them to pass. And the man is seated in his car. No form of attack. If there were any attack, maybe they were exchange of words or probably insults, which is normal between men. But to take pepper spray a civilian, another national enjoying his right to movement, and you pepper spray him, then it turns out to be that the man is a military man. You identify him and you continue. And you use object. I see that the military was trying to be careful in, the choice of words, and that's fine. But that portion I mentioned about the handcuff, hey, that weapon. They use weapon against the man. Handcuff is a weapon. It's a weapon. They use weapon against the man. They injure him. Open the weapon, open the handcuff, and use it to beat his hand. And he sustained injury on his hand, his right hand. And pepper spraying while he's seated in the vehicle. And this is happening in our country. The government is shut. The government is shut down. Yes. The government cannot say anything. It's been more than 48 hours. God, they can't say anything. Government has not said anything. But when Ernesto Wallow, who just go pay tribute, that is emotional. They say, oh, that Wallow there in paying tribute. Boom. We got dismissed the man. They got dismissed the man. Because one man sitting down in Joseph Boakai office did not let Prince Johnson. So he said, let me that transfer aggression. I had be me here in the office. Me and Prince Johnson we never got along. So let me go after one little baby boy called Wallow. Small day boy called Wallow. What did you Wallow get coming for over again for Prince Johnson? Prince Johnson been again. And I always tell people that Sylvester Grace, they are dangerous political and public figures. They are dangerous. And this is wrong. But wait again to see what the government will say tomorrow. Like I said, assuming that the Minister of Justice and the Minister of Information have briefed the president today, let's wait and see what the government is going to say tomorrow. The government cannot sit down and allow one police to say they are investigating where the military is the complainant against two civilians because they wore UP t-shirt and supported you to be president. What kind of nonsense is this? You sit down and hear your Minister of Finance complaining that the government is losing grips. The government is losing every significant when it comes to aid to your country. Where do you turn? Those are all aids. If they're not important to you, they're not essential. They should not be. We're talking $50 to $60 million. Let's take out $70 million because they've not completed all the assessment. I'll take out $70 million. You wear one thing. I will sit there and tell you Liberia is not bigger than 70 million. Liberia can identify 70 million to raise. Liberia can identify 70 million to raise and cover up. So I'm not gonna sit down here and hear my head talking USAT. The only thing I will do is the government must be ready to listen to us and take the hard political decision. She will identify 70 to 80 million in excess money and fill in for that budget. And this is a reality. But your Minister of Finance is complaining. We have a crisis before us. It is a crisis already. We have to identify at least $52 million to fill in the gap that has been created to cover for the budget. While the Minister of Finance is complaining, hey, we need to cover up for this, cover up for that. That just America say money through you say that just money through you say. There are other partners, multinational partners that are available. Those partners are still wearing their wait and see attitude. World Bank is not saying anything significant into Liberia about any form of support. When they come to you with budget support, they bring maybe 15 million, 21 million, 22 million, and all of that. You're talking $52 million. And their money coming to you as budget support. In most instances, they will tell you to cover or fit in for salary deficit. But the gap that has been created, they're going to affect the education sector, the health sector, the agriculture sector, the revenue sector, and all of that. At the end of the day, it creates a compounded problem within the economy. That shock that you're supposed to be sitting thinking about. Oh, can we run to this place and lobby or negotiate for someone like grant? Because right now you can't go for loan. You not get capacity and you get no direction, you get no integrity to go for loan. I said you come and go mortgage your resources, your natural resources now. So you have to start running around looking for a grant. At least one of 10 billion, so 11 million, so 13 billion, small with IMF and World Bank, maybe European Union people and all of that. Running the Paris Club, start running around. That's why you should start talking about to fill in the gap and say it as an immediate austerity measure or an immediate intervention. And then you start having conversation about your medium term and your long term plan that will cover for the entire 5 years remaining in your tenure. But what kind of message will you take to the Paris Club? What will you be taking to the IMF if you want a grant? What will you be telling the IMF? That over 88% of our budget is spent on recurring expenses, recurring costs, and you think the IMF will take that money and give it to you to come buy station for you to go read letter and do invoice to go steal money? They will not do it. They will not do it. They will not give you grant to go buy station or go buy gas or buy scratch to give to corrupt officials that grace the Sylvester Grace building. They will not do it. So they will hold on to their money. They will hold on to their money. If you're going for money, back up for money to build the capacity of your education system or whatsoever, it means that kind of project or that kind of program has to be available at the World Bank or IMF. It has to be available at the European Union. Once it's not available, people say, no, we don't have money for that at this point. What will you do? You have to come back and can identify new streams to raise revenues, to cover off, to fill in the gap as you run into chaos. Because the about $106 or $7 million that is allotted in the budget for public sector investment and all that kind of stuff, then you have to take it from there. That 170 million, the government will have to start considering reducing that amount by 50% to cover off for the gap created. Because you don't get the money now. You get it. So education budget slack. Agriculture, because all the money not coming again. NEC, take it all. LRA, take it all. Nothing coming. What do you go? The only money available go to the West will spend on PS ID or PSDR. You gotta go there and take it from there. Then you hear people listening to you, people want to come here, at least invest here. Everybody here, all begging metas say AML will beg you. You submit your contract for extension. That's serious money talking about. But I say you want to reach a budget to 1 billion. People come in invest over the period of the time for that extension, come in invest over $2 billion here. Then that story is over 200 million. I said 2 billion. Over 200 million here. And about to expand employment. Even if they tell you 5,000 and employ 2,500, that good number of Liberians come and get employed, new employment. That one left with the government to do the tracking and establish whether it is true that they employ 2,500 persons within the period of the extension. These are the conversations that we should be having as if we were a serious people in government. But we're not serious people in government. Everybody wants to steal. Everybody wants to be rude and lawless. Today I was driving from Congo town coming back to town. The traffic that was not even a traffic because the red light stopped us around the Famuma, not Famuma, but Tonde Street, where you have access to Tonde Street there. The police officer is trying to regulate the traffic, the red light, because I think one or two blocks are not working. We stopped. Those of us coming from Congo town side, we stopped. I could check the cars that were ahead of me. Imagine where I stopped, I could check the cars ahead of me. So it means they were not long. The traffic was not long. The only vehicle that left that queue, start to overtake. After policemen stopped everybody and regulating the traffic, the only vehicle that left that queue, that government car. And the cars can be marked. Government vehicle, I go look at the vehicle. They not even have ministry vehicle or ambulance. I go see on a small arms or PBCC vehicle. I told the boy in the car, I said, you see, so? You see why this country will not go anywhere? Instead of the government officials setting being examples to the citizens, they are compelling the citizens to be examples to them. When the citizens violate the laws, they chase you like a criminal. But they found pleasure. They found comfort, so much comfort in violating in doing the wrong things. So all these vehicles that are in queue, they are all registered, insured, they're plated. People pay revenues. People pay taxes, fees. They're in the queue. Then you overtaking. When 2 or 3 other private vehicles decide to join you and overtake, the policemen will arrest all of y'all and release the government car and keep y'all with the private vehicle plates. Then they will say, you're not supposed to do it. When will we start setting example for our people? But we always chasing it. Look at the motorcyclists today. Do you know motorbikes are coming to town and they are calling police officers' name? When they come and call your call, what are you in a 1 day motor buyer? What are you in a 2 days motor buyer? What are you in a 3 days motor buyer? Then they allow you to cross. But when your motor buyer is now you in a 32 or you in a 47 or you in a 40,000, they will not allow you to cross. That's what they're doing. Then in the enforcement of the no-go zone, they killing motorcyclists. Why will you kill to enforce law? To prevent severe offense? Human being must die? Look, I don't get it. Enforcing the no-go zone, no motorbike coming to Monrovia, they're not crime. When a motorbike rather violates this order and comes to Monrovia, it is not a crime. He commits no crime. He commits no crime. You institute an administrative measure. That is just an administrative policy. It's an administrative measure. Say, don't come to town. Even it is a punishment. It's just a punishment. Because something accident happen, the people your misbehave, you know what I mean? Don't go to bed, don't go sleep. You know what I mean? I won't see you in a kitchen again. That's temporary ban. Just to enforce a temporary administrative measure, my people, you're killing motorcyclists. So where is the training? Where is the training? That's what I said. The military is extremely tolerant. The police is on the opposite. The police is extremely intolerant. I can feel for the few ones in the police that I really regard. They're spoiling all your names. Because some of the violations can come from the top. Some of the violations. Do you know that police officer, a police commander, can get suspended or say stand down? One man can way up there. He can't put police commander on stand down. You go ask him what happened. They respect the police. They respect their superior. What is the disrespect? Oh, they mean we receive instruction that no motorbike should pass the bridge here after 2 o'clock. That instruction comes from the police authority. Say no motorbike should cross the bridge after 2. Motorbike comes to the bridge. The police people arrest the motorbike, impound the motorbike. You need 48,000 telephone. Yeah. CO38. Then you need 4,000. You are under instruction to release motorbike. No, they call for motorbike. To release motorbike, mag, blah, 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 blah. You need 38. I mean, CO38, but gee, this is difficult, man. Choice are raised. I don't want. We can. The men, we told the men, a strict policy. 50 say, not 50, but 100 say that 50 are strict policy. Even a man shouldn't release motorbike that cross the bridge after 2 o'clock. He said, "Oh, you argue with me? Okay. Call the call. The next thing you see stand down on HR. HR, man, you better you on stand down for doing the right thing." So the violation of our laws in this country, they come from the top. They start from the top. From the top. But they chase civilians into death. They chase the ordinary motorcyclists into death. Then they say the people violating laws. Yeah. Somebody tell me, yeah, police officer, they can ride a motorbike or helmet. When you stop them, they say, my man, a police officer. But the law is saying when you police officer, you should ride motorbike or helmet. That one I can see them. When I ride motorbike, I can be the first to ask for helmet. I can be the first. That's the rule. That's the law. I remember when Greg Coleman became police director, the first time on Eddie, the first thing he told all of us, he said, my man, I get your Karen. You don't call me to tell me anything. I don't hear no complaint from you and call about registering car, not having driver license. I don't hear that thing. You call me, I will disrespect you, or you when you bring it on, answer your call, and bring it on, I'll come and call on you. You get your car, you go register your vehicle, because I will not compromise people driving car without valid driver license, with all your vehicle being registered and being insured. And you can come and say, oh, because you're my friend. And no, he said, I will not go do that. I remember the first time I put it out, and he told all of us, we're clear, he told us. So I'm saying this to say, when you start enforcing the law from up, hey, you don't have to go down to enforce. The ordinary people will see it and they will do it. The only reason why more and more Liberians are taking the laws in their own hands, the justice minister said that. Listen to him. Listen to the minister of justice telling you why more and more Liberians are taking the laws in their own hands. Let me check my lens. See what I've exhausted everything. Yes, I've exhausted everything. Strategic that I exhausted all the topics. Listen to your minister of justice. Listen to your minister of justice telling you more and more Liberians are taking the laws in their hand. Listen to him. Let me get it from here. Listen to him.
Let's be reminded that each of us, as we commend his convention heritage, let's be reminded that each of us, what has done is that the Supreme Court, the judge, the procedure, public defender, city solicitor, defense complainant counsel, or attorney general, we are bound by our moral code of perfection. Our own strive to. This is the responsibility to deliver justice. Therefore, our demand an exemplary conduct for all those who are part of the system, whether they are judges or lawyers. Here are various candidates. We must remember that liberty, the pursuit of happiness, protection of property through legal processes, and the disposition
of justice requires the utmost professional standards from each of us. We are seeing in our society the level of distrust that is being communicated to us as legal practitioners. And when we have shown that more and more Nigerians are taking the law in their own hands.
Do you hear him? Do you hear him? Listen, let me take it back.
And the dispensation of justice requires the utmost professional standards from each of us. We are seeing in our society the level of distrust that is being communicated.
We are seeing in our society the level of distrust.
Legal practitioners. And when we have shown that more and more Nigerians
And in turn, it has shown that more and more Liberians are taking the laws in their own hands because of lack of confidence and distrust for our legal system.
Let's ask ourselves how each of us in our individual capacity as a judge, magistrate, prosecutor, civil solicitor, can contribute to this.
So the Minister of Justice said, as they conclude in Bon County, they should ask themselves how each of them are contributed to this level of distrust and the lack of confidence in the justice system. That's what he says. Right after that, he returned to Monrovia and issued an opinion contradicting what the Supreme Court had interpreted in the case involving Speaker Kofa. When you talk, you say, do what I say, but don't do what I do. The Minister of Justice is on record for violating, misinterpreting, abusing public trust. The Minister of Justice is on record for applying jungle justice in the very community where he lives. Hotel Africa Road. The man driving going, he just stopped the car, issued an instruction to the police. Everybody who gets speaker in the street, you arrest all these people and you destroy them. They're not supposed to be. You Minister of Justice, if you have issue with people having the speakers in the street, is that how you give instruction that you arrest the speakers, put everything, you destroy them, and you get in your car and go? People using the speakers to do business, to market their businesses. He gets in his car and go. Those people had to beg, and negotiate like they did not belong to Liberia. If the Minister of Justice can issue that order, what do you think in his absence will a police officer do? What do you think in his absence will a police officer do? The police officer will do worse than what that Minister of Justice did because he sees that as the right way to go. The police officer will see that as the right thing to do. The fact that the Minister of Justice will order the arbitrary arrest and seizure of somebody's property. Tomorrow, that police officer gets drunk or gets broke, he goes to that same place and arrest or siege all the people's speakers, impound them or park them somewhere and start demanding money. Because his bossman has shown a lesson. His bossman has said to him, this is the right way to go. That's how lawlessness starts. And we almost talked about this thing. Check it around. Who do you see violating laws? Where do you see it starting from? Do you think if Yeke Koluba had broken into Richard Kuhn's car under the discussion or under the guise that, oh, we are in a political fight and everything, don't you believe that by now Yeke Koluba would have been dragged from that place, maybe probably bought the on the instruction of Richard Kuhn? But Richard Kuhn does it, everybody quiet. Because Richard Kuhn from UP. So a good. For UP, a good. From the other side, it's bad. That good standard we set for our country. The person that in power, anything that person does, or anything people who are connected to that person do, it is right. It is right. But when the people from the other side do the same, it is wrong. I can always say to you, on this platform, we encourage disagreement, and we encourage disagreement. Not everything the people who on the platform watching, they don't have to agree with you. But when you come here, your mind born you good, your party born you good. You come from the street, you don't train. Maybe you serve rare, like they won't call Jerry and the coin. Serve rare. All we do is we block you. We first delete your comment and block you. This is a privilege to be here. It is not a right. It is a privilege to be here. You are not forced to be here. But when you come here, you can misbehave. We just block you, yeah? Okay, you maybe your man, your partner treat you good, or maybe you are self-reacher, so you didn't go through any formal training. When you can't argue, we just deal with you and block you. You lose the privilege. Go to Unity Party FM. It is anything. Go to Unity Party, anything. You go there, yeah? Yeah, pa. And nothing happen. Yeah. So we're not gonna waste our time. We just delete your comment and block you. You can't disagree. It's welcome. Every day I will say disagreement is welcome on our Facebook Live. Disagreement is 100% welcome. That place is meant for you to exchange your views. When you come and start disrespecting other people, you start using invectives, that means you're not qualified to be there. You see, you people begging us every day. My man will beg you. You're just adjusting your content. We get a problem when you're criticizing or and all of that. But you just spare the paper small. The pressure too much, the tension too hard. Just shift from the paper, at least to the public officials too, the heads of entities. Because somebody made to cause a problem for the paper. People in executive mansion talking to us. People in the president family talking to us to tune down on him, to shift the debate to the president, to the cabinet members. There's some of y'all wake up in the morning, y'all even get food to eat for yourself. Then you can't, you won't be acting rude. You see, poverty, some people will just live in poverty. Poverty even mean you get food to eat. When you are ignorant, ignorance is a form of poverty. You pour in knowledge, not only in health. So some people are complicated poverty. It's a complex problem. Medical poverty, food poverty, poverty. So it's a mixture of all I want to give. So yeah, man. But let's go to the telephone lines and pick us. But folks, so let's conclude on this note, right? Now, on today, I was riding to town and I saw the crowd that I saw around Lockington Cinema. When you get to the Lockington Cinema and you get to Freeport, if you have an empty vehicle, you'll be compelled to pick people up. You'll be compelled to give them a lift. And at times, my boy can be in the car laughing, making fun. Manager, wait, let me be looking. I can see people. Let me be looking for CDC people. Let me because UP government. I didn't want to support the government. I didn't want to take motor back. I said, maybe you don't get that other thing. We'll be having argument in the car. So how you see somebody and know the person at CDC or the person at UPS? These people need vehicle. They need ride to go to town. Some of these people have to go to work. Some of these people say I just 170 after the junction it drops. You can't be looking for CDC and UP people. Somebody, you see the kids in the uniform going to school 8:15. They are still in a standing waiting for a car to go to school. Their parents with them or their guardians with them trying to get them to town. Myself, I'm a victim. on Friday and today. Victim. I was telling him last night, I have to start getting up 5 o'clock in the morning now to bring Austin to town to school. Because Friday, Austin came to school almost 8 o'clock. Today, again, he went to school around 10 minutes after 8. Because what? The traffic. They reconditioning the road, so the traffic. Then no motorbike is allowed to come to town. It means we are compelled to stay in the traffic. Before, I would just get down from the car, park it, Austin, I get on motorbike, I carry him on campus. But for now, no, there's no option, there's no alternative. There's no alternative. So we are compelled to one, stay in the traffic, then two, go to campus the time we are supposed to reach. So me, I have to start working at 4:30 now to drive from Broadway to town to avoid the traffic. That's what it means beginning tomorrow. So now they think that not only UP people or CDC people are affecting it, and we told them during the election, we say, hey, if you elect Mr. Bwaka to come to power, if Mr. Bwaka institutes or initiates bad policy, it's going to affect everybody, not only seditious. If Mr. Bwaka comes to power and he cannot do what he promised to do, it's going to affect everybody, not only seditious. Today, what do we see happening? We do not have public transport, active, effective public transport. The NTA is one of the most ineffective public entities in the country. Good that I'm on record for chastising the very government that I supported, the CDC, when NTA issue with our whole Habib Macaulay man. So thank God on record for this agreeing and criticizing the way Habib Macaulay handled that place. The UP saw on those were part of the issue that UP said they were coming to rescue. 1 year gone, this is the second month in the second year, and we are hearing nothing from the NTA. Now, you took a hasty decision to ban motorbikes from coming to the capital. To you, that's a good decision for me. If I were in that room, I would never have supported that decision. The police carelessly handled the situation that led to the accident. The police must always be willing to take responsibility and offer public apology. You can be wrong, then you won't get vexed. That's what happening with the police now. The police is saving face. The police is wrong. And you see, these kinds of situations should not just be investigated by the police. We need an independent body to investigate offenses, traffic offenses or traffic violation, independent of the police. That's why I remember in 2018, when I just left the radio, I was recommending that the professional standard division of the Liberia National Police be detached from the police. And that place should be appointed, should be a place, it should be a whole commission appointed by the president. Meaning they will not only investigate only police violation. So they will start investigating all security, paramilitary violation. So if fire service has professional standard, take it from there. Bring it in one space. If the police has professional standard, take it from there, bring it in one place. DA, take it from there, bring it here. Immigration, take it from there, bring it here. Put all the professional standard division from all those security entities, make it a commission, a professional standard commission, and then appoint people there to preserve over that place independent of those entities. Because I say this to you, most of the cases that go to professional standard, they can be most of the people can lose their cases. Most of the people can lose their cases. For me, it's not making any impact. Who goes to investigate that traffic violation? Who goes to investigate it? But there are complaints about professional misconduct. So we extract the professional misconduct from there because the scientists are saying it is because of the professional misconduct of one or two officers that led to the accident. So while the police is investigating the traffic violation or the accident part has to do with the traffic management of the traffic, we take the professional aspect or the professional aspect from there, professional conduct aspect from there, and turn it over to the Professional Stand-Up Commission to investigate. There are two claims. The motorcyclist say that you're the cause of the accident. You kept running behind the motorbike man. Instead of allowing the man to park, you kept running behind him. And you push the man into this thing. The man ran on the bus. The bus did not have a good brake, or they ran in the man. Who's telling the real story? The motorcyclist versus the police. Then we take the very case to the police to investigate. Where's the independence? So everything that has to do with professional misconduct of this paramilitary, you turn it over to that Professional Stand-Up Commission to address paramilitary issues. The same way you go there, the military people got the Code of Military Justice, you get that on there. Code of conduct to address those issues for public officials. We need that for the military, for the security people. So we need to detach that. It's important. Nobody goes to the police for investigation against a police officer and feels comfortable. They know that the first thing they know, they're not going there to get justice. Because the police people may compromise the investigation to favor or to shield their fellow colleague who's accused of the crime or a violation. So that thing they're doing it, they think what the government is doing with the police, I think, in my mind, we need an alternative before implementing that thing. Public transport is sick. It's dead. How many public buses do we have? How many buses can empty a bus of? How many? To effectively commute between Monrovia, Raleigh, and Somalia Drive, and Douala, and come back. Providence back. How many do we have? No. Then you ban motorbikes. You are hurting the economy. You are hurting the people. That is not a solution. It is not a solution. It has never been a solution. George Weah came and lifted the ban. UP came and reinstated the ban. But under PLA, it was never reinstated. They don't only say, wear your slingers, wear your helmets, and wear your reflection jacket. Make sure your bag is registered and insured. You must have a license to drive or to ride a bike. The people protested, they got all those things. They come to the city now. He said, because of accident, don't come to the city. So the day, you know how many of the yellow buses have had accident right at that bridge? Those yellow buses will run into cars, run into that bridge on many occasions. Why you can't ban the yellow buses from coming to town? Taxi drivers will have accident. Why can't you ban them from coming to town? Keke will have accident. Why are you not banning them from coming to town? One way is motorcyclists, they will treat them different way. Why? And like I said to you, I'm a victim of the motorcyclists reckless and careless way of driving. They run into you, break your view mirror, and pass. So when they pass again, you send a finger. They pop at you. But again, if we do not want them in the center city, good idea. I will celebrate if they are not in the center city. But I will not celebrate if alternatives are not provided. We need alternative means of transportation to fit in for the motorcyclists. Until we can get that, this is a perfect alternative. Let's use it. Let's regulate it until we can find a more safer one to do, and then we can get rid of the motorcycles from flying the cities. But we can't do it abruptly because accident happened. They see motorcycle you kill. The people say no, one kind of city to come around. You don't ban off for coming. Today, in the enforcement, I'm told another motorcyclist got killed right down Crown here on Broad Street. Crown here. Because police enforcing. They see what they were enforcing the man, running behind the man fell down. I'm told he died. I have to confirm that because I got the video, but the video doesn't know that the person is dead. But the way the police heard the man say and chewing the pickle, they chew the man in the pickle or dead cow meat. You know, I got the video. So we'll talk to the people that is Zone 2. So I'll talk to those people who my friends who I know from Zone 2 to confirm whether that person actually died. Or you know, whether that person actually died or the person is under critical condition. Yeah, we can go home. But I feel for those people who normally we see standing on the sidewalk in the morning, coming to school, to their workplaces, some going for job interviews and all of that, and they have to come late to their different interview or their different appointments. It is actually a sad thing, and we have to look into it as a system and not just as a political party thing. Today, my smallest, they only get in my family. And incidentally, they only get in my family. I had to pick her up from Freeport because I dropped my mother-in-law. She was standing right there. She lives Quebec. So I started laughing. I said, you see to me there? You say we should be looking for CDC and UP people. And guess what? The phone is, man, this is that UP woman. She's over there UP. So I said, you're looking for UP and CDC people. That man, this is when they get in my family, that was there, UP woman. And she's staying in South Shore, our papa. Suppose I pick up, suppose I identify so CDC people now. Then I see my sister here. Yeah, so we laugh about it. So this thing here will not affect one group of people. It affects CDC people, it will affect UP people. I know it's painful to say this, but that's the reality. The government can tell me it is unable to get at least $1 million to NTA to procure buses. The government can tell me that just to procure buses. You can tell me that the government does not have that money to allot at least $1 million. Say, mommy, I beg you, Edmond Ford, you start with the $1 million. We add $200,000 on it to cover up for maybe shipment and all the other things, and then we will let the Ministry of Finance to give you duty free. Because certain things should be treated with emergency. Or the purpose, I mean, if you want to treat this with emergency, then you have to do waiver. So government has to give waiver. At least, government to government or government to company negotiation, move in NTA, go to these manufacturers, they manufacture the buses for you to suit your environment, and then you can just sit down, go to the banks, do payment plan, get the Ministry of Finance to approve it, to create consent. The government serves as a guarantor. You go, the company will manufacture the buses for you, ship them to you, you do maybe 30% payment, and in the next budget year, you do 30%. Before the year ends or the 6 year finish, we have at least 20 or 25 buses here. You finish paying for the money. In the next government even come for the good reason, the next government will pay. We'll just review the procurement processes and know whether it went through the right process and everything, and they'll continue the payment. They'll continue the payment. But I don't know how the people they scare or they don't know their way out and all of that. So we inconvenience the masses, the mass base of our people who stood under the sun, under the rains to ensure that we get elected. And we see the problems, we know the problems, we identify the problems, and we don't find solutions to their problems. If elections were to be here tomorrow, we will go back to them and ask them to come and make the same sacrifice to have us re-elected when we have not done anything to impact their lives? The living conditions remain the same. They are still laying under your vehicles to get jobs. They are still accusing you of loving to their wives and paying them huge amount of money when they who struggle with you cannot get jobs. This is the same thing. They are still telling you to marry shop and begging you for your balance beer or wanting to share beer with you. Just go home. Because they feel comfortable being around you as their leaders. When will you make them leaders too, that other people will go to them and want to drink from them and share drinks, share food on the table with them? When do you create that opportunity for them? When? Should they always be beggars to you? And you think that's leadership? Hey, we have to come to your senses. You have to come to your senses, officials of government. No, always I'm speaking, I love to use we because I want to be a collective thing. I want the conversation to appear like a collective thing. So I want to put myself in it. A collective engagement. So we have to come to our senses. The people who believed in you yesterday, when you were not in power, must be made to believe in you today. When you're in power, they can clap for you yesterday out of power. Today, then they boo you. That's a disgrace. Good evening to you. Let's hear you.
Hello.
You're live. Hello? You're live. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm John calling from 540.
540.
Yeah, Congo Town.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the topic on the discussion the evening. Okay. You know, we just finished for our brother.
Okay, that Austin here.
Oh, okay, Austin, come on. Sorry, Austin.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, our brother there on Peace Island, yeah, they work. They Saturday leaders, so the men were collecting money from our Saturday during the election time, and they were running Joseph Boakai campaign. So, this time when I'm going to Banzai Hospital area, when I see the police running behind them like animals, I can feel for them. But equally so, it's good for them. Because we told them that the government was not in their interest. And they never listen to us. So we inside and we will continue to be inside for the next 5 years.
We're going to be inside for the next 5 years. We pray we don't be inside for the next 5 years. Oh, we pray to God we don't be inside for the next 5 years. Hello?
Good evening, Austin.
Let's hear you, my brother.
Yeah, I call you from Jakarta. Listening to the different talking points in relation.
Who is this? Who is this?
This is Hussein.
Oh, my man, long time. How is your new job?
We're around by his grace in the private sector. We are not in government.
Congratulations on your new job. Go ahead.
Anyway, thank you. Yeah, it's been a little while. But in relation to hello, Austin, can I?
Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, so in relation to the motorcyclists, I mean, I think when you see the reasons to, reawaken the ban on them. But why it is true that we need to talk to government to have reconsiderations on our brothers, but we also have to look at it from a holistic point. Austin, you are here, and I think you drive around the city. You see sometimes how brothers become very arrogant. Sometimes even their actions, some of them, not every one of them, there are some responsible guys who are college students, some of them university graduate and things. They are riding with the bag. But there are some of them who does not even care about human feelings. They mistake sometimes when they do those things, when you talk, they insult your parents and every other thing. So I think the government have to put policy in. So this is why one of them were on one of the sister show today. I told them, you cannot have a union where you guys are leaders and you cannot regulate those of your members. right? He said, look for the audience with Greg, and Greg has said he will not settle them only because, I don't know, whatever personal reasons they may have. So I told him, if Greg will not seek an audience with you, the leaders of the motorcyclists, you can go to the Ministry of Justice, right? The Justice Minister can summon Greg, and you guys can sit around the table to see how best you can move forward. But you can have a group in which, of course, some of your members misbehave on government, even private citizens, and you cannot checkmate them. So when government come up with some of those high court or decisions, then it becomes a problem. So we affect everybody, like you said. It's not going to affect only citizens or United Partisans. It's going to affect every Liberians. We know who commute from one end to another on a motorbike. So it will affect everybody. But what we can do as leaders, let us sit around the table to see how best we can move forward. But I know government will have consideration on them, and this is the way of surviving. So government will not just come down and like that, but there should be some policy and regulations that will guide every one of them, as to moving forward. So thank you, the government. We show that the bar is really lifted.
Thank you very much, Hussein. Hussein has a new job. I will tell you where he now works. That's why he does not call regularly. I will tell you where he now works. Hello, let's hear you. Hello. Oh man, play one on the show, yo. Hello.
Hussein?
Yes.
Afternoon.
How are you, my brother?
Yeah, something that already texted me tonight. It's no army guard. They didn't know the general order. They should not even gone to the station. Those guys should be with them and put them in MP quarter. Put them in MP quarter. Let them put them run there. I can't wear that uniform and go to a police station. They are stay. Yeah, somebody. No, it's a challenge, man, to the army.
I know.
I would not be trained. I trained to kill. I'm not trained to come play phone with anybody. When you violate me, I will take action against you. Tell those gentlemen, lock them up to our headquarters. Let the parent then come there.
Okay. I know. I can understand out there. It's strange. Let's talk. Abby, go ahead.
Hey, Austin, good evening, man.
Good evening to you.
Thank you for the show. Look, Austin, let me laugh at Austin Kevin forever, man. The man in the picture now, my man. So the man got caught.
The man got caught. He got open your mind. He got to in private sector.
We don't want no drug. My man, I wish you could love me, brother. And that's it. Take it easy, my child. Other police now on the car, not easy, brother. It's not easy. But let me just tell you about the motorcycling. Yeah, it's not easy. I know a lot of people that are committing from one point to another point. But I think the government should have authority before even banning these guys from coming, central town. Because everybody focus point is, Central Moravia.
Yeah, sure. All the activities.
Everybody got to come to Central Moravia. Yeah, everybody activity down there. Because all the government agencies, almost every one of them there, beside the ministerial complex. You got to have authority. I don't know when the 300 little buses then come in, but I don't know. I got to ask. But when my brother knows I'm guessing, some people want to throw one unit.
So fresh, you can say, I collect it.
Yeah, but also before I leave, right? The reason why some of you guys get faced today to talk about the government agency because even the government that you were supporting yesterday, you talk against them.
Oh yeah.
That's the reason why you have the face today to talk about them when you see the wrongdoing. That's why even you supporting somebody, but when you see the wrong, you must talk about it. So tomorrow when it happens on a different person, you will have the face to talk about it. They will not say, oh, my man, don't talk because it happened yesterday. You're supporting that man, you didn't talk. That's the reason why you have the face today, you talk. But where our brother Noah's out guessing? I can hear you now.
Noah is rescued now. Noah now has a government vehicle, free gasoline, free gas car.
I tell you.
Okay, my brother. Let me Okay. Let me talk to this person who's been on the line. Thomas Kojo realized already, yes, so we have to go.
Yeah, Patuba.
Patuba, go ahead.
Good evening.
I'm fine.
Thank God for you. May God bless you and may God guide you.
Amen.
Austin, we the farmer, we have some kind of farm that when you just see the grass or the stick that surrounded it, and if you brush it and you didn't go down where you will not see food to grow on your land. That's how the government do. They say they know how to brush. But it's some kind of farm, they get different position. They get land that when you stand outside, you can press. But it's a land that you will use poker to root out before you get it soil. So they know how to brush on top of the grass, but the root is not pick it out. So they will not reap what they sow. Thank you. May God bless you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so folks, we actually have to go at the moment. So I'm receiving some messages. Let me see whether I can. No, I think we have to go. Man, we've on 15 minutes. We'll talk about that tomorrow, folks. No problem. Let's go. Let's just go. We'll talk about that tomorrow. The military folks are not happy.
Hands, whip your hands, come on.
And all of that.
Come on, yeah? Okay, let's go.
And the John Security won't do blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Thank you, Chief, for the information. But yes, that's all the time we have to be with you tonight. Yeah, at Freedom FM, there is no perfect person at Freedom FM. There is no perfect voice here. We strive, we struggle to give you the fact. That's all we're interested in. Once what we say to you is factual, we're not lying on anybody, we're not misleading our audience. We remain proud of ourselves. So until we return tomorrow, let me say thanks to all of you for watching. Let me say thanks to all of you for following us religiously and believing what we say. Until tomorrow, by God's grace, do have yourselves a pleasant moments in your respective areas.